Hey, family. My name's Shelley. I'm the Sober Psychic. Oh, and I'm grateful to be an alcoholic and an addict. So, I did promise you in the last video that I would post a tarot reading for we addicts and alcoholics in and out of sobriety. Um, so, I pre shuffled the cards and I already pulled out 8 cards just to get a sense of them, a feeling for them. And I have to tell you, we have one, two, three, four major arcana. Major arcana are major life changes. So the first card we have is the Hierophant. Speaks to tradition, wisdom, knowledge. In the Rider Waite Tarot and this tarot, the Crystal Visions Tarot deck, it is a man of they represent a religious authority. So it is authoritative, and that's where the tradition comes from. Okay, so right now you're gaining wisdom. You've been purging, cleansing, releasing, purging a bunch of stuff from your past. And for those of you who are in recovery, it has been I'm not going to say easier, but it has been easier than if you weren't. Because those of you who haven't made up your mind to get into recovery, this has been a very harsh and traumatic time for you. This is the universe, higher power, God, Jesus, pushing you to change, whether you're clean, sober, or not. Okay? So there's been a lot of stuff coming up from your past memories, and for us in recovery or not in recovery yet, we're having memories, and we're having memories of things that we've done to other people. But we're more than that, we're having memories of things that were done to us. Okay, including things that we did to ourselves. So, because this card is about tradition and wisdom, higher power is asking you to reach out to someone that you respect for advice. That's what higher power is asking you to do, because these changes are coming. You can either be dragged behind change or you can walk with it. But you're going to have to pick which one you want. This is an ongoing theme right now. It has been for months, and for some of us, years, that we've been going through this. And for some of us, it started out as PTSD episodes. Okay. And then we realized that if we just look it right in the face and let ourselves feel that feeling, that it will literally dissipate. So you might hear me repeat myself on some of these videos, but it's the same theme that's coming up on all the videos for everyone. Okay. The next card is the Devil, and I do have to censor my cards because of YouTube policies against nudity and sexuality. And this is the only card in my Crystal Visions deck with anyone who's naked. Okay. So this is the Devil card. Okay. And that devil, okay, first of all, that's going to represent things that we're hanging on to. People, places, and things that we're hanging on to that we need to let go of. Okay, this isn't a race, all right? You're pushing yourself too hard. And you're overwhelmed with all this old stuff that keeps coming up for you. Take it one thing at a time, one step at a time, just like you would take sobriety, just like you live your life. We all live our lives like that. We just aren't aware of it. Many of us aren't aware that we live our lives one step at a time. There's no other way to do it. Think about it. There's no other way to live your life. It doesn't matter what you're doing, right? Where you come from. it doesn't, none of those things matter. We all live our lives one step at a time. So the devil card is asking you to, again, use some of that traditional, the traditional avenues to reach out and ask for advice and ask for suggestions, okay? Because until you do that, you're not going to be able to let go of these things that are haunting you. And you're dreaming about this stuff. I already know you're just dreaming about this stuff. And it's hitting you with the most, like it's just, what's the word I want? It hits you when you least expect it, these memories. Just a smell, or something you see on the TV, or something you hear somebody say will trigger a memory for you. That is spirit. That is the higher power saying, pay attention to this. These feelings that you're feeling right now, they won't last forever. This too shall pass. But it's not going to pass until you deal with it, okay? And I know it's hard. But you've been through all this crap that you've been through for a reason. Not your fault that you're an addict or an alcoholic. It's not your fault. But it's time to, while remembering that you're an addict and alcoholic, it's time to set aside old behaviors, old thought patterns, all that stuff that's keeping you tied down, that's keeping you prisoner. Because at the end of the day, we're all prisoners here. If we allow ourselves to be prisoners there, it's time to stop being the victim. We're not victims anymore. We're choosing to come back to our power. We are powerful. You are powerful. And you can do this. Next major arcana, and the third card, is the Empress. Okay, the Empress embodies all of the queens. There's tradition with queens. There's longevity with queens. There's wisdom with queens. There's nurturing with queens. Okay, so this embodies every queen of the tarot, of the tarot. The queen from each suit from the tarot. In case you're not aware of the suits, we have cups, wands, coins or pentacles, and swords. Okay, we do have one sword card, and we'll get to that. Swords is cutting through the BS. So whether you're a male or a female, you still embody this Empress energy. It's just an energy. We all have male and female energy in us. Okay, and once you take care of the things that are going on with that devil card, the things that you're hanging on to, the things that are haunting you, that's when you come into your power. That's what the Empress is about, is power. And she's pregnant. So fertility. Not necessarily getting pregnant. Not necessarily that type of fertility, but fertility. And I mean, she's abundant. She's got the apple. She's under the apple tree. The butterflies represent change. Okay, so she represents fertility, and fertility of emotion, fertility of mind, fertility of ideas, new ideas. And that brings us to the Knight of Pentacles, which is the next card. That fertility leads you to this Knight of Pentacles. He's, I should have my glasses on, but I'm stubborn. He's coming in slow. Pentacles is a slow and sure and steady suit of the cards. It's an earthy energy, okay? So he's not moving super fast, but he's moving slowly, and that's spirit telling you to take it slow. As I said, just take it slow, take it easy. Again, not a race. You're going to get there. And trying to rush through it is it's just going to perpetuate whatever's going on with you that you're trying to be done with. You have to go through it. You're not going to get over it, around it, or under it. Because if you try that, it's going to keep coming back over and over and over. It's time to let it go. And the only way to do that, again, is to look it right in the face. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Look it right in the face, right in the eyeballs. Feel that feeling. Feel that guilt. Feel that fear. Feel that anxiety. Feel it. And the minute you allow yourself to do that, those feelings will dissipate. And that thing will stop popping up for you all the time. And I'm not saying it won't ever, because we're going to go through stuff. Okay? And we're still learning how to manage our emotions. Doesn't matter how much sobriety or clean time we have. We're still learning how to manage our emotions. Those are what kept us out there. Those emotions. That fear, anxiety, that depression. And depression is anger that hasn't been worked through. It's repressed anger. That's what depression is. So we're going to feel those things sometimes. We're human beings. The thing is, we're not going to... I live right in the middle of a city. Yeah. And the motorcycles are out. It's a beautiful thing. So we're going to feel those feelings. No matter how much sobriety or clean time we have. We're going to feel them every once in a while. Okay? Addicts and alcoholics were ultra sensitive people. So we feel things really intensely. But we're learning. It does get better. This too shall pass. I know you might hate to hear that. A lot of people don't like the slogans, but this too shall pass. Those feelings don't last forever, and they're just feelings. And feelings lie. Anxiety lies. Depression lies. Fear lies. Remember that when you're feeling those things. But allow yourself to feel them. Because if we try to push them away or push them down, I mean, we're famous for that. Alcoholics and addicts are famous for pushing down our feelings. I got a treasure chest in my mind, in my head, and I would put all of my feelings and traumatic experiences and shove them down in there. And when I decided to get sober and clean, I had so much stuff in that treasure chest that it just exploded. I couldn't even sit on it to close it anymore. I couldn't keep it in. That's the analogy I'm trying to get at. I couldn't keep it in anymore. It just came out of me. And drinking and drugging wasn't doing it for me. It wasn't working anymore. Okay? And maybe it's not working for you anymore. And maybe you're already in recovery. But either way, we can't keep shoving that stuff down. We have to allow ourselves to feel it and allow ourselves to be human and be gentle with ourselves. Don't not make excuses for our behaviors, but allow ourselves to be human beings, because we are human beings. We're not just addicts and alcoholics. We're human beings. Addiction and alcoholism is a piece of us. It's not going to go anywhere. And we would do well to remember that. But meantime, we are human. And I feel like we're human more than we are anything else. So, that's the Knight of Pentacles. Slow progress. Slow progress. You can see he's not in a hurry. He's just going along. Horsey's just trotting along, leisurely pace, and not in a big fat hurry to get anywhere. It's a beautiful thing, people. Okay, and now we have the Four of Swords, and I know it looks ominous. This is not ominous. This is you finally laying down your swords. You're done fighting. You've cut through the BS. That's what the sword suit is about, is cutting through the BS. It's about clarity. You will have or do have the clarity that you've been looking for. And clarity feels beautiful. It has a feeling all to itself. It has a feeling of relief. It has a feeling of confidence. So you have, or you're going to lay down your swords once you get through that stuff, and that laying down your swords, that clarity brings you to a tower moment. Yes, this looks ominous too, and it can be, but not in this reading. The tower is about change, usually abrupt or very intense change. And that's what this is about, is intense change. Like almost polar opposites from where you were to where you are now, or where you were to where you're going. Okay? So this is not as ominous as it looks in this reading. I promise. It's just saying that the old thought patterns, the old behaviors, the old ways of being have had to be knocked down. They had to fall in order to make room for something new. Because, once that tower crumbles, they're going to build a new tower. And that tower will crumble. But that's life. We can get in a comfort zone. It's okay to have a comfort zone, but we don't want to get complacent, right? We need those tower moments, because those tower moments promote even more change. And again, either walk with it or get dragged behind it. But I don't see spirit or your higher power giving you a choice here. So the only choice is you can accept it or you can try to ignore it. But you're not going to be able to ignore it. All the cards are saying that. 4 major arcanas, 4 major life events, you're not going to be able to ignore it. The Spirit's telling me to let you know, if something happens that you deem to be bad or awful, this too shall pass. It's a blessing in disguise. This is where you get back to that gratitude list, or start a gratitude list. Find 3 things you're grateful for. Find 1 thing you're grateful for and focus on that for the rest of the day. Because that other stuff will fall away. That fear, that anxiety will fall away. Pay attention to where you are right now in the present. Pay attention to your feet on the ground, the sound of your fan, the sound of what's going on outside, the sound of your grandkids, the sound of your children, the sound of the TV, anything to keep you in the present moment. Get up and make yourself a sandwich. Get up and make yourself a cup of coffee. Get yourself a cup of tea. And again, be gentle with yourself during these things. I can't tell you how many times things have happened and I've thought, look at this stuff that's happening to me. Look at these awful things that are happening to me. And I know this sounds corny, but they're not happening to us. They're happening for us. Because there's something better waiting. Again, just don't be in a big fat hurry to get there. Because this stuff takes time. Don't get from point A to point Z in 20 minutes. It takes time. And you've got time. Not a race. All right, so the 7th card is the Ace of Cups. So that tower comes down, old ways of being dissipate. We're working on our character defects. I call that shadow work. Working on our character defects. And then we get these new opportunities that bring us emotional satisfaction. The cups represent emotion. New emotional beginnings. Ace, always the first card in the suit. It's not the first card in the tarot deck, but it's the first card in the suit. The first card in a tarot deck is actually a major arcana called the Fool. Mm-hmm. So, again, Ace of Cups, new emotional state of being, new emotional offers, and offers, physical offers as well, verbal offers that will make you feel a new beginning. You see what I'm getting at? You're going to feel a new beginning. because someone's going to reach out to you, or you're going to reach out to someone and they're going to offer you something. It could be advice, it could be a suggestion, it could be a hand up, right? And that's going to make you feel a little bit better emotionally. And you're going to see that it's not all, the rose bush isn't all thorns. There's roses on that bush. There's something beautiful on that bush. But just like the rest of our lives, there's going to be a positive aspect to everything, and a not so positive aspect to everything. There's two sides to every single thing on the planet. It depends on how we choose to look at these things. So things are happening for you, not to you. Spirit is telling me also, if you keep attracting the same kind of people, the same kind of situations, there is something within you that needs to change before those things are going to change. Because we will try to go back to the place that's the most comfortable. Even if we get into recovery, our ego will try to put us in the most comfortable spot, even if it's detrimental to our well-being. Because our ego has protected us for so long in that way. And that's what egos are for. Fear-based ego, ego-based fear. It's all the same thing. So try to be mindful about your thought processes. And am I thinking something positive about the situation, or am I thinking something negative about the situation? And I don't mean sugarcoat it. We can't look at life through rose-colored glasses, okay? Doesn't work, because we're going to miss the reality every single time. And this is really what this reading is about, actually, is facing reality. Hard for us alcoholics and addicts to do that. Yeah, baby. Another reason we drank, we didn't want, or drugged, we didn't want to face reality because our reality was awful. Okay. And not that everybody's reality started out awful. Sometimes, you don't have, it doesn't have to be a genetic thing. It doesn't have to be a familial thing for a person to become an alcoholic. Someone who isn't predisposed to alcoholism can just really, really dig the way alcohol makes them feel or drugs make them feel. And then after a while, it is used to take us out of our reality. Okay? And then we have another cups. We have the 8 of Cups. And she has her opportunities next to her. And this moon is, no, we do have a couple of cards in the tarot that have moons in them, but are like crescent moons. And they're, the person in the card can't see anything in front of them or beside them or even behind them because everything is hidden. But in this card, things are not hidden. Things are coming out. That's what the reading has been talking about. Things are coming out, and better out than in. Find someone that you trust to talk to about these things. If you have a support network, excellent. If you don't, find one. If you don't have a support network, leave me a message in the comments, okay? And I will respond to that message and get you going on finding a support network, okay? I got you. I got your back. So, she is able to see where she's going because of the light from the moon. And I don't know if you've ever been deep in the country, or maybe you live in the country where there's not a lot of city lights. And there are nights when the moon absolutely lights up the landscape. It's beautiful. It's kind of eerie too, but it's beautiful to look at. And that's what she has. Now she's got her clarity. She's got her clarity, right? Old paradigms, thought patterns, ways of being have fallen. Opens up new emotional opportunities, and the path is clear in front of her. Okay. So I'm going to keep it short. And I hope that you enjoyed the reading. I hope some of it resonated with you. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share. If you want to share this with other people, that would be fabulous. And leave a comment. All of those things will help grow this infant channel and help other people to get a message. Thank you so much for showing up. You have a beautiful day or evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is in your space.